Shit. Started off with the motherfucking mic muted. No headphones in. Forgive me, good Lord. Jesus. Act like my first time doing this shit. Um, Good morning, y'all. How's everybody doing? What you doing this morning? Yeah, work. What you drinking? I switched it up this morning. I got me a Red Bull. Uh, I don't think the coffee was gonna cut it today. Yeah, I don't think the coffee was gonna cut it today, so I had to give me some of that good bull. What's going on, morning gang? Morning brew gang. What's going on, everyone? How you feeling this morning? Um, Let me know what you're doing this morning. Are you on your way to work? Are you at home working? Are you drinking coffee? What kind of coffee you drinking? Or did you get a Red Bull like I did this morning? Because it just felt like I needed that extra kick today. And I don't even know, and I don't even think that I can go another fucking week dealing with this cold shit. Because this shit is played the fuck out. I feel like we've had an 11-month winter. And you know damn well when summer gets here, that shit's only gonna last 2 weeks and then it's gonna be fall again. Everybody gonna be hyped for Halloween and shit. Nah, man, I need a good solid 5-6 month summer this time around because this cold shit's played out, fucking with my whole mood, man. Just makes you not even want to go out and do nothing. Just man, I want to go. I want to go get some sunshine. You know, do something in a tropical location. Smell the plants. You know, I want to walk through a park and smell the plants and see the flowers blooming and all that. Man, this cold shit played out. Can't do it no more. Angela said definitely needed a monster day for work in the office. Yeah, I mean some days that coffee just ain't gonna cut it. So I know this is the morning brew, and I know we have coffee beans on the background, but some days you just need that extra kick. And I had this Red Bull sitting in the refrigerator anyway, so I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll still light the coffee candle, so we can keep the theme going. But we're gonna be drinking some Red Bull today. Dylan Coleman in here. Before you get on the topic, do you use a camera strap when using your cameras? Just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing photography, then yeah, I'll use a camera strap. But if I'm doing video, then I use a stabilizer and I have my camera on that. So just depends on whether I'm doing photos or videos. That's a good question though, because I have tried to do photos without the camera strap before, and that ended up costing me a lot of money because I dropped the camera. So if you're going to do photos with your camera, make sure you're using the camera strap so you can have it around your neck. So if you drop it, it doesn't hit the ground. So, and I mean, with a stabilizer, you could drop the whole stabilizer, but they're made to have multiple grips on them. So it's kind of hard to do. If you drop your whole stabilizer with your camera and your screen and everything on it, then you're pretty much going to be starting back from square one. Good morning to you also, Dylan. But yeah, just wanted to go ahead. First things first, man. If you woke up today and you was having trouble getting motivated, or you was having trouble, being optimistic about the day or the week, or it just seems like, because I know a lot of people right now, to them, it just seems like they're constantly working and working and working and working, and they're barely just keeping up with shit. Like, and that's just the way the economy is right now, and the country in a whole is right now. It's like it just seems like people are working and working and working and never able to get ahead. Like they're just working all these hours every week, and all that's doing is paying the bills and leaving them a few extra dollars. So if you're one of those people that just feel like you don't have no motivation, or like you can't get no you can't make no ground up, you know what I mean? You can't get ahead. Just look at this story. I wanted to bring this up because I know times are tough right now, but I do also know that sometimes people can um, exaggerate their situation, and they're not grateful enough for what they have been blessed with. So just wanted to bring this up right here. 78-year-old man in the iron lung dies. Uh, Crazy stuff about this guy. This guy died at 78 years old. He had polio. He was a polio survivor. And when he was 6 years old, his mom um, noticed that something was wrong with him when he came in from playing outside. She noticed something was wrong with him when he was 6 years old. It ended up being a virus that attacked his nervous system. Ended up being a virus that attacked his nervous system, and they ended up having to put him in this contraption that you see him in right here, because when it attacked his nervous system, like, it caused him not to be able to breathe. So this machine right here did the breathing for him. It compressed his lungs and did the breathing for him. Now, he was in this machine since he was 6 years old, and they didn't think that he had long to live. He lived until 78 years old. And this man went and got a law degree. He got a law degree at the University of Texas, I believe. Like, he was still painting and stuff. They said he practiced law for like 30 years. Um, but I mean, when you see stuff like this, and you see someone who was in such a messed up situation at such a young age still be so optimistic and take advantage of the very little things that he was still able to do, that kind of makes me look at the bigger picture and say, you know, hold on one second. My dog is back here making all kinds of noises. Sometimes he's cool. Sometimes he's cool with being in here when I do it. And sometimes he'll make a bunch of noises so that I let him out because he knows I'm trying to do something. He's too smart for his own good. But this really makes you step back and look at the bigger picture. Like, this guy was dealt a bad hand at a real early age, and he could have just gave up and laid there and not did anything. But the fact that he still got a law degree, practiced law for 30 years, he still would paint, he still would do everything that he was able to do. They said he would use his mouth to hold the pen and write and paint with the paintbrush and all that stuff. So the fact that he still did all that after being dealt that terrible hand at such a young age and was able to stay optimistic. And you see in the picture, he's smiling. I really don't think that I have much to complain about most days. You know, the fact that I'm able to get up and walk out of my house and go do stuff, so we just got to keep things in perspective. And when I see stories like this, it really helps me do that. Like, I can sit around and feel sorry for myself and say, oh man, it's just like I'm just constantly working just to barely get ahead, and sit around the house and mope and not go do nothing because I'm depressed. But then you got situations like this where he could have easily just laid there depressed and not done anything, but he still took advantage of the little bit of things he was able to do, and he's still smiling. So if you're feeling kind of down on yourself, if you're feeling like times are tough and you can't get ahead and there's no light at the end of the tunnel, I mean, look at this right here. This is a perfect story. It's all about mindset. It's all about being grateful for what you do have and taking advantage of the opportunities that you have. So, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Dylan said the only reason I asked was that I just started taking up leather crafting and thought about making you a custom strap with Trey films engraved on it for more practice. Hey, I'll take it. And like I said, I do use it when I do photography. But like, the camera that I have came with a strap, but it would be cool to have a custom strap that said that on it. So yeah, appreciate that, Dylan. If that's something that you're willing to do, I would even pay you for it. So if that's something that you're willing to do, then I appreciate it. And that would be cool. Never thought about getting a custom strap for it, because honestly, I do most of my work I do is video work. I do photography, but it's very far few in between. Um, Mostly what I do is video. That's mainly what I specialize in, if that's what you want to call it. Um, and next, I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you guys seen it, the Nickelodeon sex abuse scandal. And This is sad to me because this is something that was such a big part of my childhood. And it seems like that all the stuff that had a big part in my childhood is getting like exposed for some fucked up shit. And it's like, why are there so many weird, creepy ass motherfuckers in the world? Because this is just really exposing like how many of them there are. And it's sad because it seems like all the everything that had such a big part in my childhood is now getting exposed to have something to do with these fucking pedophiles being involved with it. Like the screenwriter and the director Dan Snyder, which was the main guy that I heard about doing a lot of this stuff. Um, they said that he had a foot fetish. And if you remember the Nickelodeon logo back in the day, it was the orange foot, which is fucking weird off the bat. And this is another situation where it's like, how did it even happen this long? Because like how we were talking back with the kid being in that bedroom, or the kids sucking the teacher's toes at the fundraising event. Like these are the type of things that make me ask, how did it even go on this long without being exposed? Because you gotta think this shit happened back in the 90s. It is 2024, so that's 30 some years that nothing ever came out about this until now. And now they're making a documentary about it. Like I don't know if you guys seen Amanda Bynes now, the girl that used to be on the All That show, but like she looks bad right now. Like she looks completely different than she used to look back when she was on the Amanda show and all that. Like you can obviously tell that she isn't all the way together in the head, and I wonder like how much of that had to do with her being sexually abused on the Nickelodeon set. And I did have a video to play for you with this. I don't know if you guys seen it or not. I came across it on Twitter, and it's just this shit is just wild to me. How in depth it goes, how like how many people in the movie industry, in TV media, how many of them are like pedophiles and shit. It's like this whole thing was created by a bunch of fucking pedophiles, and it pisses me off because I loved Nickelodeon being a kid growing up watching Nickelodeon. I love Nickelodeon. To just find out now that such a big piece of my childhood was infiltrated by all these fucking pedophile weirdos. But I did want to go ahead and play this clip for you guys. I'm sure know a lot of you know Ariana Grande. Um, I completely forgot that she was ever even part of Nickelodeon, but this was I'm assuming that these scenes from this show, I don't remember this show, but I'm assuming that these scenes from this show never went out, because if they did, then they probably would have got dude in some trouble. So I don't know if these are like behind the scene takes that they did and never put out or what, but here is a clip that I came across on Twitter and I was just amazed. This is just fucking insane.
Have you ever said something, like a sentence, and thought to yourself, wow, like, I bet nobody else on earth has ever said those exact words that I just said? That happens to me a lot. So now, just for fun, I'm gonna say 3 sentences that I bet not one person has ever said before in the history of mankind. Sentence number 1. Oh man, my uvula got stuck between that hamster's toes. See? That could never happen, because your uvula is that swingy thing in the back of your throat right here. So there's no way you could get it stuck between a hamster's toes. Sentence number 3. I'm soaking wet! Quick, somebody bring me the ocean! No one would ever say that. Why? Because if you were soaking wet and you were upset about it, the last thing you want is for somebody to bring you the ocean. Because the ocean is even more wet than even the wettest person in the world. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out. Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato. Ew. Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down? I'm thirsty. It's not possible. This has been me in a video. Come on, give up the juice. Can you imagine what life would be like with hippopotamus teeth?
See, now you ain't gonna tell me that those directors and those screenwriters, or if it's just one, you ain't gonna tell me that they don't know what the fuck they're doing right there. You are not going to convince me that they don't know what they're doing, or that it was just a coincidence and it looked like that. Like that is a prime example of them taking advantage of a teenage girl's ignorance and having her say shit that they're getting their rocks off to. And that is insane. When I seen that, I was just like, how was shit this blatant and going on for that long? Because, like I said, I think that was in 96 and it's 2024 and it's just now coming. Why have we never, like, that video footage was obviously out there somewhere. I mean, it wasn't hard for them to find it. And Drake Bell from Drake and Josh came out, and I guess they're making a whole documentary on all this. I guess they're making a whole documentary on the Nickelodeon thing, which I'm very interested to watch, where they're supposed to be exposing a lot of this stuff. One of the guys even came out and apologized, and it's like, fucking apology, bro. You need to be in jail. And like Drake from Drake and Josh was talking about like how he was sleeping on the couch one time and he woke up and was getting sexually assaulted by one of the directors or co-writers or something like that. And it's like I need to watch the documentary to get all the details on it, because I've just been scrolling through Twitter and I've been seeing a little bit of all this. But it's just insane, man. And then you see that and it's like, how does that just now come out? Because it was obviously floating around, and I don't know how they got a hold of that footage now, or if it's because they started doing an investigation and that footage was like in the archives or some shit like that. But these motherfuckers were so bold enough to the point to where they did it and saved it somewhere. They did it and saved it somewhere, you know, from 30 years ago. So that shit is just insane that that's happening. And like I said, you got Drake Bell coming out saying that he woke up on the couch and was being sexually assaulted on the couch. And then Amanda Bynes, like, she looks like she's lost her fucking mind, and it's probably something related to that. And then you got Ariana Grande in that video right there doing stuff that is obviously sexual in nature. So 2006, I don't know. I don't even I don't even know the dates for real. I looked up that Dan Schneider guy, and his thing said he started there in 1996, I believe. So I don't know. It probably was 2006, but like 2006 doesn't seem that long ago to me. But then I said think about it, and I'm like, that's fucking 20 years ago almost, which is weird to think about now. Because 2006 seems like, because I was born in 92. So 2006 doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But then when I sit here and I break it down, it's like that's 18, almost 20 years ago. So that is a long time ago. It just didn't seem like it was long enough in my head when I'm thinking about Nickelodeon. Because me being born in 1992, growing up and watching Nickelodeon, I'm thinking like that shit happened further back. But I guess that would be like, yeah, I guess I would be around like 13, 14 years old when that came out. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That shit's just crazy. Holly weird. Yeah, and it's all like, and I mean, you hear all that shit with Hollywood in general, and then And then Nickelodeon comes out with it, and it's just like, what is even going on out there? Why have there not? I mean, we know why there haven't been deeper investigations into all of that. We know why, and it's because people in politics are involved with it and shit, and they're in cohorts with them. But yeah, I mean, if it was happening in 2006, it was probably definitely happening in the 90s. Because you got to think, if they was getting away with that shit in 2006, then back in the 90s, like there was no social media, nothing like that. It was a lot easier to hide what the fuck you was doing when it was something like that, and it was just a different time. I mean, 2006 was still kind of early too, as far as like technology and stuff. But um, if they were doing it in '06, I mean, it was probably they've probably been doing it for as long as TV's been around. You know, they've probably been doing it as long as they've been making movies. And I think like when you go back so far, like in the '60s and '50s and all that stuff, women probably just thought that it was something that came along with the gig. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to be on TV, then you needed to sleep with all these people that were part of making the movie or whatever. And I mean, kind of like an initiation process. Like if you wanted to be on this movie and you wanted to be famous, then you needed to sleep with these people. It was probably something that just happened back then and was just normal. And then it got to a point where they finally was like, well, that ain't normal and that shouldn't be happening. And now like people are starting to come out like, yeah, they was taking. But I mean, in this situation where Nickelodeon is a very unique situation where most of the actors there were teenage kids because all of the stuff that they were putting out was for kids. So that was a unique situation when all of the actors were kids, teenage kids, uh even younger kids than that on there. So that was a unique situation right there where it was just like a buffet for pedophiles. So yep, they protect their own no matter what. Remember the kids movie Blank Check, weird stuff happened there too. See, Blank Check was one of my favorite and still is one of my favorite fucking movies. I don't know what happened with that. What happened with Blank Check? See, that's fucked up because kind of messes up my childhood a little bit looking back on all this stuff cuz like I said, Nickelodeon was such a big part of my childhood. Blank Check was one of my favorite movies. Um where the kid fucking gets hit by the millionaire on his bike and he goes to write him a check, but he forgets to put the amount, and he goes home and types $1 million on it. And it's, which now you think about it, and it's like they were really teaching kids to commit fraud. They really put out a book. I mean, besides the weird stuff that happened in that movie, they was really teaching kids how to commit check fraud. Like they like you really had a movie where you had this kid go home, and I mean the way they put it in the movie, they made it a very tempting thing to do because this kid went home, took the blank check, and typed $1 million in it, and went and bought all this cool shit that is a kid's dream. And kids are watching this, and then like, I wonder how many kids grew up and committed check fraud or just wrote a bunch of bad checks because they seen that movie. I wonder because until we were just sitting here talking about, I'd never really thought about the fact that they were promoting check fraud, and then I wonder how many kids grew up and did that just so they could just so they could get something cool or nice. Goes on a date with a grown woman and then she kisses him on the mouth. Yeah, that did happen on there. That did happen on there. I forgot about that. Yo, they did have like a whole romance going on with that little ass boy and this grown ass woman. Like she was lightweight infatuated with him and stuff. Like Macintosh was the fake name that he made, Macintosh. But yeah, now that you say that, I haven't watched that movie in a while. If I would have watched it, it would have been fresh in my head. But now that you said that, they did have like a whole like romance going on with this grown ass woman and this little ass kid, and she did kiss him on his mouth. That's wild, bro. That is wild. I forgot all about that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that movie now so I can just like try to pick apart some of the shit that I may not have paid attention to. And it's weird though. It's crazy. It's crazy how oblivious kids are, because when I was watching that as a kid, it was like you don't even think nothing of it. It's just like, and I mean, even as adults, like until you just said that, like we really don't even think nothing of it because it happens so much in movies. And it's just kind of, they kind of just try to brush it off like it's the norm, like, oh, it's just acting, it's just acting. But now that you got all this stuff coming out with the sexual abuse stuff behind the scenes, then you know this shit ain't just acting. Like there's a reason why they're scripting this shit into the movie. And yeah, some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff. I mean, aside from the fact that they were promoting check fraud and making it very persuading kids to write fake checks. That obviously wasn't a movie for morally grounded people. Um, but it was a good movie though, nonetheless. I mean, it was a good movie, one of my favorite movies. Made me want to go grow up and buy a castle and put a water slide in it. But the fact that you said that is wild because I never even, I never even second thought about it. Like he did kiss a grown ass woman, and they did kind of make it like a whole romance thing between him and her. Wild shit, man. Wild shit. Um, but besides that, I mean, the Nickelodeon. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna talk about that more when the full documentary comes out. I think the documentary is called Quiet on Set, and I'm interested to see what all comes out because I know there was people talking about like Amanda, the fact that Amanda Bynes looks crazy now. Um, Ariana Grande has been in like 20 different failed relationships, and I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that she's mentally unstable because of being sexually abused on the set of Nickelodeon. But it's just wild stuff. Wild stuff. And I don't know if you guys seen yet, but we are actively being invaded. We are actively being invaded by other countries. And not only are we being invaded by other countries, a federal judge just granted them the right to carry firearms. So let me just say this, and you tell me if it makes any sense. Illegal immigrants are allowed to carry firearms in the United States. The same country that does not allow convicted felons who are United States citizens to carry firearms once they have served their time and get out. What the fuck are we doing? So you're saying that these immigrants that have already came over here illegally, already broke the law by coming over here illegally, should be able to carry firearms, but someone who committed a felony, served their time in prison, and are a United States citizen by birth are not allowed to regain their right to carry a firearm. Why should illegal immigrants be allowed to carry firearms in a country that they are illegally in already? If they came here illegally, what makes you think that they're going to obey the law here in this country? And if they're not a United States citizen, then they should not be granted the rights of a United States citizen. This shit's wild. This shit is crazy. Okay. The fact that you got these people invading, because that's what it is. If you come over here illegal, there is a process. If you want to come from another country and you want to be a United States citizen, all power to you. This country was built on diversity, but there's a right way to do it. There's a process that you go through to do it. I know it's a lengthy process, but you got to do it. So the fact that these people are coming over here illegally, which is actively invading the country, they are invading the country. And then not only are they invading the country, they're being handed a pistol when they come in the door. So that's like you being in your home. Okay. That is like you being in your home, watching a movie or having dinner with your family, and somebody who does not live there and you do not know kicks down your fucking door and breaks in your house. So they have already illegally entered your house. And that would be like your husband going upstairs or your wife going upstairs, grabbing your firearm, going downstairs and handing it to the guy that just kicked down your front door and entered your house illegally. What do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to take that gun and just walk back out the house? No, he already kicked down the fucking door. So he already had bad intentions when he entered this motherfucker. When he kicked down your door, he already had bad intentions. So then you went and got him the gun and gave it to him. What do you think he's going to do with that? He's going to use that gun to help him get whatever he came in for in the first place. And the fact that we as a country are just sitting back and watching all this go down, and the government is actively trying to destroy the United States. They're trying to destroy the United States because this makes no sense. Hey, and guess who that federal judge was appointed by? Mr. Joe Biden. That federal judge that just granted illegal immigrants the right to carry firearms in the United States was appointed by Sleepy Joe Biden. You know, I have lost hope at this point, like, because society, they grab on to these news articles that they see online or on TV, and the first one they see, they just grab it and they take off with it and don't even do their own research on it, and that's how we end up in a situation like we're in now. Angela said loads of illegals, young men getting bust in, shit is wild. They've got videos now where people are going into, like, it was the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, I believe. The Roosevelt Hotel, dude goes in there with a cell phone and acts like he doesn't know where he's at. Goes in there and there's just a whole lobby full of illegal immigrants in there, and they're just housing them there. And they're just sitting in there, and it's not like it's a mix of men, women, and children. It was all grown men. It was all grown men. And if they're already coming here, I mean, it's common sense, guys. What are we doing? It's common sense. If they're already here, just it goes back to the analogy with somebody kicking down your front door and you handed them a gun to help them with whatever they just kicked down your door for. There's no other explanation to the whole thing except our government is trying to ruin this country. And to be more specific, the Democratic Party. I don't like to get into politics. I've said it before. But I think we can all agree that since Joe Biden became president, this fucking country has went to hell. I mean, you actively got motherfuckers invading this shit right now. The price on everything that you pay for is triple, if not quadruple. And that goes back to the beginning of the show where I said people are so tired of working every fucking day just to barely pay the bills and get by. But this is what we voted for because people thought Donald Trump was mean, or because people thought Donald Trump was racist. And that's what I mean by people seeing a news article, and instead of doing their research, they just see that news article and they take it at face value. Oh, it's got to be true. It's on the news. These motherfuckers lie to you about shit every day to push their agenda. And you know the best way for the Democratic Party to get you to not vote Republican is to tell you that the Republican candidate is racist. Because as soon as people see that, they automatically think, oh, well, if I vote for him and he's racist, then that makes me racist, and I don't want to be racist, so I got to vote for the Democratic Party candidate. Do your fucking research, man. Do your fucking research. This shit is just disgusting. The fact that people voluntarily voted for Joe Biden, voluntarily decided to pay 4 times the amount on everything that you pay for now, voluntarily decided to let our country get invaded by illegal immigrants who are now armed because of a judge that Joe Biden appointed. Not to mention all the other fucked up shit that's going on in the country right now, just because they thought Trump was a mean racist. Let me tell you how you should vote. And I know that sounds crazy. Let me tell you how you should vote. But I think, in my mind, these are the 3 things. I might have 3. These are the things. I'll just say the things. These are the things that you should take into consideration when you're going to vote, especially if they've been a president before. Whose policies work best? Who is in office that allows me to have more money in my pockets? And who keeps the country safer? Those are the 3 things. I don't give a fuck about your personality. I don't give a fuck about what you say. As long as your politics work, as long as you put more money in my pockets, and as long as you keep this country safe, I don't give a fuck about none of that extra shit. None of it. None of it. Because I'm so sick of these motherfuckers making all these promises, and Biden's been in politics for 70 years and ain't done shit, and then gets in office and people think everything's going to be different because he's in. No. People got to stop. We've said it before on here. Stop taking shit so fucking personal and stop making decisions with your emotions. That's why this country is in the position that we're in right now. You know? That's all I'm saying. If you're going to vote for a president, it should be 3 things. Who's going to keep the country safe? Who's going to put more money in your pockets? And whose politics work? The fact that so many people voted for Joe Biden shows me that nobody cared about any of those things. They just wanted a nice guy in office. And apparently a nice guy who has dementia. You know, I'm not even mad at Joe. I am mad at Joe because, I mean, back in the day, he didn't do shit neither. But at this point, this motherfucker's so gone. Like, he don't even know what he's doing. He's just a puppet. See, y'all done got me started on politics. He don't even know what he's doing. He's just a puppet, and they're just pulling the strings behind him, pushing an agenda and everything. But it's like, come on, man. What more proof do we need? What more proof do we need? They tried spinning that racist card on Trump. So that motherfucker, because they know as soon as they say Trump's racist, African Americans are automatically going to vote for the other guy. That's how Democrats get African Americans to vote for them. They call the Republican candidate racist, and African Americans jump all over it, and they automatically vote for the other guy. It's just facts, bro. It's just facts. Like, I ain't on here saying nothing that ain't real. And I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. You know what I mean? And I don't consider myself Democrat or Republican, because sometimes there are things on the Democratic side that I agree with, and sometimes there are things on the Republican side I agree with. And I feel like once you consider yourself one of those parties, you start defending their actions regardless of how dumb they are, because you feel like you have to, because, oh, I call myself a Democrat, so I got to defend what they do because that's what I'm supposed to do being a Democrat, and vice versa with being a Republican. You know, so I don't consider myself either one. I consider myself somebody who can look at the facts and use common sense to make an intelligent decision. And that just ain't happening no more. People are so scared to think for themselves because they don't want everybody to dislike them, that they go out and they do this dumb shit just so people like them. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and vote. Even though I know he's gonna be a terrible fucking president, I'm gonna go out and vote for Joe Biden just because I don't want these people to think I'm a racist. Like, literally, there was so many people that didn't want to vote for Trump because they didn't want people to think they were racist. Is that not disgusting? Is that not? I mean, it couldn't be because they just thought Trump was the better candidate, could it? Because I remember when Trump was president, I never fucked with the stock market before. Trump had the stock market so fucking good, I was looking into investing money in the stock market. Shit was affordable. We wasn't dealing with this invasion that we're dealing with, and damn sure wasn't giving them guns when they kicked down the front door. I mean, it's wild, and I'm gonna get off of it because I don't like getting on politics, but it's just like, god damn, man, you gotta we as a country are stupid. And it's because we want to fit in with the crowd and we believe everything we see on social media. You know, and we gotta stop that. We gotta start thinking for ourselves. We gotta start thinking for our own families, because you keep on making decisions so you can be cool with other people and be included in their little group. You keep making decisions based on that, then you're leaving you and your family in a fucked up situation. Because I mean, look at the prices on shit now. Can you even afford to fill up your gas tank? Can you even afford to go get groceries that are going to last you for 2 weeks? Huh? This is wild. I had somebody come to my door the other day talking about the electric bill was going to start going up. And I don't even remember what they said after that, because I was so pissed after they said that. And I was like, this shit's already expensive as fuck. Like, I'm about to get one of them wheels, and I'm about to start taking turns with my dog, and we're about to just start running on the wheel to produce electricity in this motherfucker, because I'm so sick of this shit. I'm like, the fact that you knocked on my door to tell me what one of my bills is going up, it's like, are we even surprised? Are we even surprised? I don't know, man. See, that's what happens when I start talking about shit like that. I get on a little rant, but I mean, it's just I ain't getting on here saying nothing that ain't true. You know, I ain't getting on here saying nothing that ain't true. And the sad part about it is nobody's gonna give a fuck until these illegal immigrants start showing up at your front door, or you're affected by it. And I mean, like, nobody's going to care until you are directly affected by it. Because as human beings, it's hard for us to care about something that is out of our line of sight. If it doesn't directly affect us right now, we kind of just look away, you know? So a lot of people ain't going to care until these illegal immigrants start. And I'm just going to get vulgar because that's what's going to happen. Until these illegal immigrants start raping your children, breaking into your houses, murdering your spouses, stealing your stuff. I just seen a video the other day, like, this lady was getting arrested and taken out of her own house because she wouldn't let a squatter come stay there. I don't know if you know what a squatter is, but it's somebody that goes into an abandoned house and lives there while it's unoccupied. In this case, the lady owned the house, and they were arresting her and taking her out of it because she wouldn't let him in there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're doing. You know, I don't know what we're doing. We're not headed in a great direction. And like I said, sad part about it is nobody's going to care until one of them come knocking at your front door and threatening your kid's life. Nobody's going to care, you know? And I'm not saying, and like I said before, I'm not saying that people shouldn't be able to come to this country. There's a right way to do it, though. Yeah, there's a right way to do it. And I know it's a lengthy way, but if you're willing to break if you're willing to break the law right at the beginning, then when's that going to stop? You know? Yeah, being forced to let someone stay in your home is crazy. It is insane. Like, I just don't understand how people don't have the intelligence to say, oh, yeah, this isn't right. What is going on here? Like, it's just happening. I don't get it. It's fucked up world we're living in. But hey, that's the times that we're in. And I don't know if it's going to get any better, you know, because there's a lot of shit to clean up at this point. And as sad as it is, I'll go ahead and predict it now. I think Donald Trump is going to get reelected as president. And I think the Democratic Party is trying to put this country in such a hole that he will not be able to get it out of, so that when he takes over, it'll make him look like he's the one that fucked up the country. So I think that they're just like, I think the Democratic Party right now is just like, let this shit go to complete hell so we can set him up for failure. That's all I can think of. Because at this point, what they're doing don't make no sense. So, well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I did want to give out to the shout out to the sponsors, TNS Bartending Services. Go ahead and book them for your next event, wedding, birthday party, whatever that may be. TNS Bartending Services, great people, great service, great drinks. Connect Coworks, downtown Marion, 181 East Center Street. Just went there yesterday. They had the red ribbon cutting, real nice facility. If you want to get out of your house, if you want to be in an area where you can go get coffee, lunch right downtown, it's $100 a month for a membership. A lot of different spaces in there for you to do multiple different things. They have an outdoor patio that you can go out and work at when it's nice out. So get a hold of them, schedule a tour, see if it's something you might be interested in, and go out to Connect Coworks, check them out. But I appreciate everyone tapping in today. It's going to be a little shorter episode. Tomorrow we will be back on with Martin, and then Friday, I believe we will have the first episode at Connect Coworks with Sarita. I will confirm that and let you know tomorrow, but that is the plan as of now. So I appreciate you guys tapping in. I hope you have a great rest of your morning and a great rest of your day, and stay safe. Love y'all.